guys, welcome back to the Doom Eternal series. This is episode 8, and today we'll be journeying through Sentinel Prime on a mission to kill the final Hell Priest. First, we're gonna have to kill the Gladiator boss, though. I actually haven't made one of these videos for a while. The last one was about a month ago, and since Doom the Dark Ages is coming out in May, I've got to finish the Doom Eternal series soon. Like, after a whole month playing Halo, I couldn't really remember the controls for Doom, but for some reason the controls were also swapped. The first 10 minutes of my recording was mostly spent by me just fiddling with the controls and relearning them. For some reason, they're stuck on the default controls when I normally play using Classic, and I can't change them no matter what I try. It only really affects my weapon swapping, which has caused a few problems where I've accidentally activated Flame Belch instead of swapping guns, but for the most part, I've adapted to it. In the past, I always held Y so I could swap using the weapon wheel, but since I rarely hot-swapped weapons, I've gotten used to using the right bumper for it. Now my instincts tell me to hold Y for the weapon wheel, but tap RB for hot-swapping, which I never do anyway. I never really used Flame Belch unless I was like hyper-focused on the game and like actively trying to do new things instead of trusting my instincts. That was back around the time I made the first Doom video, and yeah, like I was straying from my comfort zone a lot. I tried using weapon mods I wasn't comfortable with. I used the frag grenade for the first time. I used Flame Belch for the first time. I tried using weapons I didn't normally use. But now that I've left for a while and returned, I'm just trying to regain my past skill rather than improve it. Right now I'm just trying to use the super shotgun effectively instead of trying to learn how the chain gun works. On the subject of today's story, I've decided to just rant about how my spring semester's been going. The first day of it was on a Friday, but I was sick and got to stay home, so the first day that I went was the following Monday, where I was met by incredible confusion. The website that told me what my timetable was had it wrong, and the room number it gave me didn't actually exist, so I was left to wander the school for like 15 minutes. After about that time, I went down to the office and they told me what my actual room number was, which was not even close to the original number that I got. And this wasn't actually my mistake, which I assumed for a little while, but I checked back on the website afterwards and it still had the wrong number on it. First period, I have science, which means that one day this year I'll likely be playing with hydrochloric acid while I'm almost too tired to keep my eyes open. After that I have math, and then after lunch comes band and French. Science is incredibly boring, not because of what we're learning, but because of classroom. Last year my science teacher had dead animals preserved in jars and isolated ecosystems in bigger containers, and often had toxic chemicals in the back of the room that he made in between classes. This year the room is empty. The shelves that line the walls are completely there's nothing inside of them, there's nothing on top, the only poster really in the classroom is the periodic table of elements. The most interesting thing there is a box on the wall that looks like the control panel on Darth Vader's chest. The classroom is shaped like a church for some reason, but colored like a toddler's vomit after eating Play-Doh and washing it down with milk. The walls aren't normal classroom colors, instead they're whiter than a racist, and the ceiling's yellow and blue. The windows are so big that the entire room is lit up by the bright natural light reflecting off of the snow-white skin-colored walls. The math room feels like stepping into a cozy log cabin after coming out of that science room. In reality, the classroom is fairly standard. Normal tiled floor, normal wall color, normal desks, normal shelves, and overall the room's just standard. I sit next to the radiator, but because the desk is pressed up against it instead of like a foot or something away, if my arm goes to the left side of my desk, I can really feel the heat. I actually don't have any classes with my friends now, so lunch is my main time to see them, so I've actually started looking forward to that time of day now. After that, I will have either band or French for periods 3 and 4. Band is the best subject hands down. I thought it was going to suck, but once I entered the room, I immediately saw a bunch of guitars and I realized this semester is going to be fun. I've got to stick with an Epiphone guitar for class, but it's alright. Thankfully, I've memorized the sound of a guitar and I can tune it by ear automatically, so dealing with its inability to stay in tune is pretty easy. I didn't use an amp for the first time until today because I like to practice other songs while everyone else is trying to learn what the strings are called, and I don't want the teacher to have to talk loudly to be heard over the guitar, so I just play it quietly even though it's already like an electric that can barely be heard. Today I went into this other room and plugged the guitar into an amp my mom also has, but I was struggling with it. Since I was sitting on a metal chair that was f***ing with the pickups and the cable, it resulted in constant problems. Once I sat a certain way though, it kind of like harnessed the issue, and it had like a really nice fuzz effect, almost reminiscent of an actual fuzz pedal. Anyway, I played Master of Puppets and Welcome to the Jungle to pass the time, and then I toyed around with some other songs until class was over. French is the second worst subject. The teacher's older and loves subtly shitting on America as a whole. She has a very thick accent that I can't always understand, but I'm actually not sure if it's French. I'm doing surprisingly well, and on the very first assignment I got a 95%, and I was not doing anything right in it. I asked questions constantly throughout the presentation, and I barely held my French accent throughout it. I found myself constantly returning to normal speech while saying words you had to pronounce like Napoleon himself. I ended up saying G Maple instead of the proper pronunciation. Anyway, French class is basically just a free credit, honestly. Do you guys ever think of Undertale when you're fighting this boss? Oh, I always think of Sans the moment this guy pulls out the jump rope games. Man, every time I die and lose one of my extra lives, I immediately just hear. Anyway, I should tell you guys my plan for how I'm gonna finish this series in time for Doom the Dark Ages. Currently, I'm doing one level per episode because that seemed right when I started this series, and I'll continue doing this until I play the Ancient Gods DLCs. I'll dedicate one video to the Ancient Gods Part 1 and another to Ancient Gods Part 2. For Doom 2016, I've planned to do only one video, but instead of a 10 to 30 minute video, it'll be probably like an hour. That way then I can show you the whole story, talk about my perspective of it, and make fun of a substantial amount of things. When Doom the Dark Ages comes out, I want to be able to play it right away. The day it's released, I'll be at school, but the moment I come home, I'm going to download it. Then I'll play it every day, edit as I go along, and I estimate that about 1 month after its release, I'll have a video about it. Thing is that I only have enough storage for footage, meaning that leading up to its release date, I probably won't upload any videos, and after its release, but before the video, I likely won't make any memes either because of the unnecessary toll on my Chromebook's hard drive. Once the game is out, you can expect a lot more memes from me because I'll have more to work with, and like even when I'm playing Doom 2016 or the Ancient Gods, you can definitely expect a lot more memes.
portal is ready. We should leave immediately.
That is the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe.